And so we are heading to our next item on the agenda, and I will hand over to my colleague, Dr. Florian Bayer, who will now guide you through the next panel. And this is also the last session that we have here on our ground floor stage for today. So lots of fun with that. I hope that they're all already here now. Should be.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I can hear you. Perfect. Well then, I'm heading over to you, Florian. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Charlene. Hello, everyone. My name is Florian Bayer. I'm responsible for the Bitkom working group, Digital Marketing. I'm very happy to participate here today and to host this panel. I brought two experts of our working group with me. We will have a short session together about digital marketing. Before we introduce them, I shortly want to address the question why digital marketing is so important to the overall economy and therefore also for us at Bitkom. We all know that while our whole society is transforming and digitalization, consumers' expectations and wishes, especially regarding privacy, but also regarding technology in general, are constantly developing. Also, at the same time, companies provide valuable offerings and services in a digital world. In order to bring these offers to the potential customers, the companies engage more and more in digital channels to interact with the customers. Especially during the pandemic, the awareness of the importance of digital marketing rose significantly. At the beginning of the year, we published a study named Value Added by Digital Marketing to show the impact that digital marketing has to our economy and the society as a whole. So in terms of expenses, value added, labor effects, income effects, and the enablement of personalized free offerings in a digital society. So I kindly invite you all to have a look into our study that is free to download. The title was Value Added by Digital Marketing. With this broad view that necessitates companies to take a lot of responsibility, we discuss with marketers in our working group opportunities, challenges of privacy-driven digital marketing, of regulatory developments, and the impact new technologies and business models based on data have. So we ask ourselves, what does the development of our society mean for companies in terms of interaction with the customers and thus for their digital marketing? So the general setup is clear. There are high dynamics in digital marketing with new players, new technologies. Companies are looking for guidance, for best practices. They need to collaborate to tackle higher challenges like sustainability that requires coordination between the entire value chain. So that is what we facilitate in our working group, digital marketing, by addressing such important topics such as automation, artificial intelligence, sustainability, and privacy. And I'm very happy to have two guests today here with me to share some insights of the working group. So let's jump in and start. Corinna, may you please introduce yourself first?
Yes, thank you. My name is Corinna Klaes, and I'm chairwoman in the Bitkom working group Customer Relationship Management and member of the Bitkom working group Digital Marketing. And I'm also happy to be here today. Actually, I work in areas of customer experience and data analytics, so I'm looking forward to an exciting discussion today.
Thank you very much. And also Tobias, our second guest, may you please introduce yourself?
Yes, very happy to. Hi, Florian. Hi, everyone. My name is Tobias Kellner. In my role here today, I'm especially as a board member of the Digital Marketing Working Group at Bitkom. This group exists, I think, around 2 years now, and I really enjoy the exchange we have in the group and also seeing this group really grow. Seeing the impact grow, seeing the publications we do. I think we will get to a few of them and also the activities we do. And in my normal, let's say, day-to-day role at Google, I manage really the relationships between Google and the ads ecosystem and different trade bodies, really covering advertisers, agencies, publishers across the board, and also across the entire spectrum of topics. So besides privacy, which is obviously a key topic we've discussed for several years now, but also covering, the increasing topic of AI, the topic of measurement, sustainability, self-regulation, and also obviously product innovation. And I think that just demonstrates how, and also, the scope we will discuss in the digital marketing group, the range of actors and the range of topics. So there is a lot for everyone really to participate, in my perspective.
Thank you very much, Tobias. So to open up our brief discussion, may I ask you some questions, Tobias? Privacy is a main topic of the working group digital marketing. What issues does our working group deal with in relation to privacy, and why is this topic so important for us?
Yeah. I think first of all, exactly, I would address the importance, and I think it's really driven by customer expectations at the end of the day. We see that different research. We looked at it in the Bitkom working group. We looked at Gartner research, other research, and really we see a large majority of users and ultimately, obviously, citizens that believe that data protection is very important and that are increasingly aware of their the data sharing concepts in the internet and in the open web. And I think they expect more transparency, really, from digital marketing and all of its actors. So how is my data used? Why do I see a certain ad? How can I change a few settings? And I think this is really a change in the industry, not just yesterday, but what an industry like a change that's been ongoing for a while and will also continue. And we see that on the other side also reflected on regulation, right? Not just in the context of the Digital Services Act, but also other aspects that we will come to in a minute. And I think really in the Bitkom working group, we exchange approaches and best practices on how to deal with these both user changes and also regulatory changes, to address best practices, to really work as an ecosystem, because often, data needs to be shared across the ecosystem and the value chain that we can comply with regulations. And also actions of certain actors along the value chain have implications for others. So it's really needed that we talk together and that we find solutions for the entire industry.
So let's go one step further and share some more insights from the group. Which challenges do marketers face currently?
Yeah, I think quite a few actually, and I think I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, I would say that in digital marketing we would call ourselves quite optimistic, and I would rather frame this also as an opportunity to innovate and change and really develop ourselves as an industry. I think opportunities are, as I mentioned, in the area of regulation, right? Where we will have to adapt, where we will bring more transparency and content moderation, for example, in the context of the DSA, that is, in very much discussion now, because very large online platforms have already had to comply. Others will have to do so next year. So this is just one area, right? But then there are other areas, and given I'm also in my day-to-day job working for Google, let me give you an example of, for example, the Privacy Sandbox, which really is an initiative that aims to create technologies that both protect people's privacy online and give companies and developers tools to build, digital business and driving, digital marketing. And while we, like Chrome, will deprecate third-party cookies and therefore cross-site tracking, then obviously other aspects need to be addressed by the entire value chain. So to demonstrate which other data can we use, how can we group this data together, how can we synchronize this data, for example, on first-party data sources, what other data sources do we have? How can we intelligently analyze and process this data? And we looked at it in the Bitkom working group, for example, with a customer data white paper, which was really addressed by advertisers, by agencies, and by publishers. And I think this is an example where we delivered output really for the ecosystem that they can, take as a guideline and inspiration.
Also here I highlight is downloadable for free, so please have a look at the Customer Data Platform white paper. There are very interesting advertisers showing how they build up their data infrastructure. So that's very interesting. You can have a free look in there. Looking forward to the next activities of our working groups, what are the key issues we will tackle in the next activities?
Yeah, I think one, obviously our next, group meeting that will happen on November 14, actually in our Google office in Hamburg. And of course, everyone here that is listening or seeing this at a later stage is welcome to join. I think they best approach Florian about it, who is, managing, how many open seats are left. We will, I think, discuss what implications regulation has, as I mentioned, for example, the DSA, or also how the future of consent looks like. That's obviously a topic that is very close between the areas of data protection and digital marketing, and really at its intersection. And I think looking into the 2024, the topic of AI is really one that will have a pervasive role. It's obviously also doing this already, but I think going into 2024, it will be really like, what use cases can be made, which ones are promising for different kinds of ecosystem stakeholders and companies, also for different sizes. And I think looking into this, for example, with another study, Florian, you mentioned the study on macroeconomic impact of digital marketing. And I think a study on the value of AI could also be very interesting. Or looking at different case studies and examples of Bitkom members or others in the ecosystem. And I think we will also look at, how does AI and connecting this to privacy really lead to further innovation in this field, and there are different concepts.
Well, may I also take Corinna in? Let us dig a little deeper into the current challenges that marketers face. Why is data-driven strategy, considering both data privacy and customer experience, so essential?
Well, first of all, I think in the world of digital marketing, we have come a long way from the early days when we think of measuring results of our marketing activities, for example, collecting data or aggregate data. But things have changed a lot recently. There are now strict rules about how we handle people's personal information, and we are saying goodbye to third-party cookies, for example, which Tobias slightly mentioned before. Which used to be a big part of online advertising. So we are kind of entering a new era from my perspective, and it's becoming clear that having a smart plan for collecting and using your own data, also called a first-party data strategy, is really important. Why? It helps companies protect people's privacy while still giving them a great experience. And also it is essential that data-driven strategy has to take into account both data privacy and customer experience. Data is a valuable asset, as we know, for businesses, but its collection and use must be done responsibly. So regulations like GDPR underline the importance of data privacy, but it's at the same time important to consider the impact on the customer experience. So a data-driven strategy that integrates data privacy and customer experience allows companies to offer personalized experiences that affect customer loyalty as well. Because customers feel more comfortable when they know their data is secure and being used transparently. And at the same time, this data empowers companies to better tailor their products and services to their customers' needs, especially in a post-third-party cookie world. Therefore, striking a balance between data privacy and customer experience is crucial to gaining customer trust and also building long-term relationships.
How can this delicate balance between privacy and customer experience be maintained, and why is this important?
That's a good question. Maintaining a delicate balance between data privacy and customer experience is vital because it ensures that customers' trust in the brand is upheld while providing seamless and tailored experience. And with the post-third-party cookie era, companies need to rely more on their direct relationships with customers and build up a first-party data strategy. And this balance can be maintained by implementing transparent data privacy policies, obtaining customer consent for data usage, and minimizing the data collected to only what's necessary. So businesses should invest in secure data handling practices and continuously also educate their teams on privacy compliance. And by doing so, they can diffuse the risk of data breaches, for example, while still delivering exceptional customer experiences.
Okay, so now we have this little deeper look. Let's get a little bit broader. With your experience, what is the current market landscape regarding data privacy and customer experience, especially concerning small and medium enterprise sizes looking?
Well, the current market landscape reveals, and also in my experience, that data privacy and customer experience remain challenging for many small and medium-sized enterprises. They are often struggling, and these businesses have often limited resources and expertise in data privacy. So market maturity varies across the industries, of course, and SMEs may struggle to fully understand and implement the requirements of regulations like GDPR. So to stay competitive and build customer trust, it's crucial for businesses, including SMEs, to recognize the importance of data privacy and customer experience. Also, I think often there are silos, so they have to break these silos to be successful here. Allocating resources for training and implementing appropriate measures is therefore also essential. While these challenges exist, taking proactive steps to address data privacy concerns can lead to improved customer relationships and long-term success.
Tobias, may you add on this industry perspective? May you give us a brief overview of the developments of the market, especially with regards to their significance for marketers?
Yes, I would just highlight the point on SMEs that Corinna just made. I think that's really a focus aspect that we, as a Bitkom working group for digital marketing, are already focusing on, but can do so even more in the future, right? As guidelines, as best practices, to really demonstrate them and just share best practices and examples on how best to approach new topics, new regulations, and new challenges that obviously arise when we innovate on certain areas. And I just want to highlight again that the potential of AI is obviously huge, right? We just did a study with the Cologne Institute of the German economy, where really the value generation that AI can bring was estimated around 330 billion euros, which is a huge number, of course. But it really can only be done if, at least 50% of the German companies leverage and use AI. And right now we see that at a 17%, right? So there's a big shift to make. And I think we as the working group can really help guide this process by papers, by exchanging information, by hosting meetings, and looking at this. So I'm really looking forward to 2024, to other meetings, and especially, of course, to our next meeting dedicated to privacy on November 14.
Thank you very much, Corinna and Toby. Looking on the clock, we are already over, so to say. So thank you very much for the short insights. To close this short session, I really want to emphasize that we are really happy to engage in discussions around privacy within our working group. But as we do this year again and did last year with the working group of privacy with Rebecca too. So if you're interested for the meeting, please also just contact Rebecca or me. And our meeting will be in Hamburg on the 14th of November. We are also happy to announce that Axel Voss will contribute to this meeting. So I'm happy to see you there. And if this invitation does not fit your calendar, please feel free to contact me anytime. I think the exchange is very, very important around privacy, around digital marketing. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Florian, and also thank you to Corinna and Tobias. That was very interesting. I have to say goodbye at this point. That was our last item on the agenda, at least for our ground floor stage. You do have the opportunity to switch to the main stage program, where you will have one last panel. It starts in 20 minutes at 4:00 p.m. The last panel on the main stage is about fairness in personalization, the role of transparency and the balance between interests. And we do have on our panel Cecilia Alvarez Rigau-Diaz, EMEA Privacy Policy Director from Meta, and Michael Will. He is the Bavarian State Office, works for the Bavarian State Office for Data Protection Supervision. I hope you all had fun. I hope you gained some new interesting insights, and thank you for following and thank you for joining our privacy conference. Well then, have a great afternoon and thank you. Bye-bye.